If Leonardo da Vinci was still alive and he was looking for a job, he could be rejected in 5 minutes, and that was the conversation. Too many interests, no clear career path. Pick one, please. But the irony is, he did everything from art to architecture to anatomy to flying machine, river engineering by hand, and architecture. Because he was a man who couldn't pick one interest. He was a glorious multitasker. But somehow, between Renaissance and a corporate PowerPoint, we were told that that's a flaw. The reality is that human beings are multitaskers. We always been multitaskers. We cooked while telling stories. We raised children while weaving a basket. We created and shaped a stone to a tool while we were looking at the sky and dreaming. Our ancestors didn't do everything that they did through one task because they were multitaskers. And they didn't call it flow. They called it life, evolution, creation. Human being is a multitasker. We are built too many things at once. Your body is functioning right now through multitasking. Your heart, your lungs, your muscles, your brain, all together. They're working to make your body work. Nature is multitasker. A tree gives fruits, shades, oxygen, and at the same time, beauty, all together at the same time. The first Swiss knife army was not made in a factory. It was built by a multitasker hand, shaping a piece of a stone. Civilization wasn't built by people who were specialized in one thing. Civilization was built because people, they couldn't help but try everything. And then one day, someone decided that we are doing too many things and we have to pick only one. The Industrial Revolution arrived and told us to be focused and do one motion over and over. Screw the same bolts, pack the same package, focus, specialize, and produce. Charlie Chaplin warned us in modern time, when a man in an assembly line tightening the same knot over and over and over until the machine will eat him. This is exactly what we are facing today. That's when insult was born. Jack of all trades and master of none. Except the original phrase didn't finish this way. It says Jack of all trades, master of none, oftentimes better than master of one. The second part quietly disappeared, exactly the same way that inconvenient truth always do. Because the system didn't want a curious mind, it wanted predictable one. We have created a world in which death without breath is celebrated until the ground shifts. And then the specialists, drone, and multitaskers continue swimming. Multitasking isn't a chaos, it's a resilience. In most of my life, I was told that I was completely scattered and I have to pick one thing, specialize, stay in lane. But I couldn't, my brain refused it. I painted, illustrated, knitted, cooked, cleaned, raised a child, cared about my family, studied nutrition and psychology sometimes at the same week. But somehow I thought there is something wrong with me. I thought I'm completely unfocused and unprofessional. But now I see it differently. It wasn't weakness. It was aliveness. It was the power of curiosity that moves through all of us, creating a connection that no single lane can do it. Most women are natural multitaskers. They create, cook, comfort, feed. We nurture. We hold the invisible thread of civilization together, meanwhile pretending that is effortless. Not because we read those books, but because the society demanded it. The unforgettable meal of your mother, the comfort of food, love, the creation, those weren't distraction. They were masterpieces of multitasking. They were the architecture of love in a daily chaos. So maybe the problem is not that we are doing too many things, but maybe the problem is that word undervalue how much joy and meaning come from doing many things well enough. Neuroscience tells you that multitasking drains focus. They're half right, because the brain cannot juggle two identical tasks at the same time, but it can thrive when switching between two different tasks. And that's called creativity. You're knitting, and all of a sudden you solve a problem. You cook, and the idea you were chasing for weeks all of a sudden appears while you're chopping onions. You walk, and your best insight arrives mid-step. That's not distraction. That's the opposite of distraction. That's the brain cross-pollinating words. Leonardo da Vinci didn't paint the Last Supper because he was focused. He painted it because he was fascinated by different things. By light, anatomy, geometry, human emotions, and cooking bread. He was multitasker in real time. That was a masterpiece of multitasking. So maybe the point isn't to pick one thing. Maybe the point is to let them feed each other. Write like a gardener. Cook like an engineer. Paint like a scientist. That's what Leonardo did. He blurred lines until invention become like a breathing, easy. So no, multitasking isn't the enemy of depth and focus. It's how depth happens. Because the more language your brain speaks, art, logic, light, creativity, paint, engineering, the more fluent you become in life itself. The machine have mastered repetition. Well, our job now is to master integration. Be the jack of all trades again. Mix your craft. your thoughts, your words, your creativity, your aliveness. Because the secret isn't doing one thing perfect. It's doing many things meaningfully. That's the way you can get out of this depression that is becoming a kind of global pandemic. Because every morning when we wake up, we are afraid. When the machine is taking over us, the same machine that we were warned many years ago, and we kept becoming specialized in one piece of that machine until we created an enemy for ourselves. We were never meant to be a single tasker. In a multitasking universe, we are nature, and nature never does one thing at a time. So if someone calls you scattered, jack of all trades, smile. You're not scattered, you're alive, and you are not doing one thing to create your own enemy. Remembering how to be human, that's what our job. Master of none, still better than master of one. Because the machine is the master of one. And somewhere, Leonardo definitely is nodding and smiling. Thank you for listening. And looking forward for your comments. Write down in a comment below how many tasks you're interested in and what you think about it. See you next week. Goodbye.